Okay, so we've got the radicals and we've got the imaginary numbers. It's going to look like this on your test, okay? So let's go. Two numbers that multiply to get 108. I know it's even, so something I can do, honestly, is just go 108. Some of you know that 108 is 9 times 12. But if you didn't know that, you can go, hey, it's even. It's divided by 2. So I go 2 and 54. And then some of you will go 9 and 6. I could divide it by 2 again. I just want you to see there isn't one way to go. And then 3, 9, 3, 3. So what is it? Sorry, I know that keeps going bright and not bright. I need to circle the doubles. So here's one set of doubles. There's another set of doubles. So I need to multiply them. 2 times 3 is 6. And then the only thing I didn't circle was the 3. 6 rad 3. I'm going to grab a calculator really quick so I can show you how to check it. So I want to show you what I did. I took the question and I set it equal to answer and press enter and it says true. So now I'm good to go. Don't do that until they're done with your test, okay? Let's go to the next one. The square root of 49 is 7. The square root of 144 is 12. Sorry, let me move that over a little bit, okay? And then now I'm going to, two options. I can go negative 10 times 7, which is negative 70 over 12, divide by 2, negative 35 over 6. Now, another thing I can do is I can go 10 goes into 12, 5, 6. 5 times 7 is 35, and then the 6 on the bottom. Another thing I can do is I can pick up my calculator and go negative 70 divided by 12, and it simplifies the fraction for me. Okay, how do I know if it's true? I can check it in the calculator. Let me pause it and do that. So what I did, I took the question, I set it equal to the answer, and it says it's true. Now I know that I know. I'm good to go. All right, let's go to the next one. I won't check all of them, but I wanted you to get the idea on how to check them. 10, 9, 2, 5, 3, 3. The double goes on the outside, but then I have this on the outside. So 6 times 3 is 18. And then what I didn't circle goes on the inside. And that's 2 times 5, which is 10. Again, check it in the calculator. Okay, but not right after, at the end. All right, I can't put these together until I know they're exactly the same. So I tree this, 3, 9, 3, 3. The double goes on the outside. What's left goes on the inside. So now I bring that down. There's an imaginary 1 right here. Negative 1 minus 3. Don't tell me positive 4. That's a negative times a negative. Okay? And when you're checking your test, I might check ones that maybe I'm feeling insecure about. Okay? And maybe I can figure out what the answer is. All right, letter E is the exact same thing, just more complex. So 5, 100, 10, 10. So that one's 10 rad 5. 5, 25, 5, 5. And then 5 times 2 is 10 rad 5. Minus 9, 5. Let me move this over. 3, 3. Circle the double. What's left? So 10 rad 5 plus 10 rad 5 is 20 rad 5 plus 3 rad 5 is 25 rad 5. The next one. It's not okay because you can't have a radical in the denominator. 8 rad 2 over 2. Simplify that into 4. 4 rad 2. If you put it over 1, you'll lose a point. Now this one, I can't just multiply by rad 6 because it's being added, so I need to do the conjugate. You can either FOIL or do your box. I'm going to do my box. I don't care what you do. Show me some work, please. Rad 6 times rad 6 is rad 36, which is 6. The radical went away. That's what I wanted. And 1 plus negative 6 is negative 5. And then now I'm going to distribute. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times rad 6 is negative 2 rad 6. It's not my final answer because I don't like that negative on the bottom, so I need to give it to the top. And if I give it to the top, and now it's positive and I'm a happy girl. If this was a 4, I could simplify, but since it's a 5, I'm all done. Letter H, what's wrong about it? The rad 11. So rad 11 is negative 11 rad 55 over rad 11 times rad 11 is rad 21, which is 11, times 5 is 55. Some of you go, but now I have to tree 55. Well, I don't have to tree 55. Well, I could, but I'll see there's no doubles because 5 times 11 is 55. There are no doubles, and those are both prime. But what I can do is 11 goes into 55 5 times, and since the bigger number's on bottom, it stays on the bottom, and that is my answer, fully simplified. All right, let's get into imaginary numbers now. This looks great, but I need to change the sign of everything to the right. Then I show my work. This one, negative 13 and negative 17 is negative 30, negative 41. 5i plus 1i is 6i plus 8i is 14i. Now, this whole section down here, I cannot check in the calculator because it's imaginary. Remember, what has to come first? The number, then the I. Next one, multiply. Multiply. Oops, 42 I squared. I squared is negative 1 times negative 42 is positive 42. And then that's not in standard form, so I move the order 42 plus 54. Okay? If some of you can go straight from this step to this step, that's fine, but just be careful because that's when we make silly mistakes. I to the 30th is just dividing by 4. It goes in 7 times, remainder 2, so that's I squared, and I squared is negative 1. That's it. This is the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 196. Yes, you need to show your work. This is an I, this is a 14. I times 14 is 14I. But now I have times 4. 14 times 4 is 56I. Last one is being multiplied. I'm going to do my box. It's just easier for me. If you want a FOIL, great. I don't care. Get the right answer. Show me some work. Okay, 21i plus 8i is 29i. And then I squared is negative 1 times negative 56 is positive 56. And 56 plus negative 3 is 53. Okay. All right. So I gave you another page that is going to replace those two that I crossed off. So let me go over it. What is the new function after the given transformations? So g of x equals, remember that it's x cubed. Horizontal translation 6, see, reflecting over the y is really the x. And here is, this is kind of a hard one. Let me make this a vertical compression. So I'm going to make that a vertical compression by a factor of 1/4. So that's the blue. And I change it to vertical. Horizontal translation 6 units left. Left really means right. And then that covers everything except don't forget the cubed. So there's the 6. There's the 1/4, and there's the negative. Okay. If it did say a horizontal compression, there would be a positive 4 that would go in there. All right, let's see. So this is the parent. So g of x equals vertical stretch by a factor of 3. I have to put the 3 on top instead of the 1. Horizontal translation 4 units left. Left, the opposite is right. Keep it under the line. Reflection over the x really means it's with the y. And vertical translation 5 units. Okay? So let's see, reflection over the x. 4 units left really means right. Vertical stretch by a factor of 3. And vertical translation 5 units up. Okay? All right, so they want you to use a parabolic function. Parabolic means x squared. So if I know that my parent as f of x equals x squared, I need to do g of x equals. Reflecting over the x really means it's the y. Vertical translation, let's do this first, the horizontal. Horizontal stretch by a factor of 7 means it's going to be that squared. I know I didn't give you very much space. Sorry about that. And then vertical translation 4 units down. So far this is just this problem. Now what they want you to do is graph it. So graph the original, makes a U. And as a side note, if it was x cubed, it would be a squiggle. If it's absolute value, it would be a v. I will not give you this one. That's too crazy. If it was an x, it would be a line. And I think, oh, and if it was a square root, it's that one. Okay? I'm probably going to give you a basic one. One of these ones sound good, or that one. All right, so literally what they tell me they want me to do is go 4 units down. So I'm going to do that first because I feel like that's the easiest. If I reflect over the x, that means you're flipping me. So now instead of going up, I'm going to go down. But I need to horizontally stretch. So I'm horizontally stretching, which means it's going to look like that. It's kind of obnoxious, but you get the idea. Just make sure it looks wider than your original. This is saying I can use any function, so I'll use the squared again, because why can't I? So f of x equals x squared. You know what, I'll do the x cubed, just so you can see a different one, but I want you to also see that if you do it here, you can do it here. So that means this would be g of x equals vertical translation 3 units up. Horizontal compression by a factor of 1/2 means not straight shooter. So these two are really similar. So it's almost good, oops, cubed, that I'm doing this. All right, so graph my parent, squiggle. It's telling me to go 3 units up, 1, 2, 3. And then it's telling me to horizontally compress. So now I'm smushing it. So that means it's going to go. And I think you would agree that definitely looks skinnier. Okay. All right, describe the transformations. I'm going to start with the vertical because that's easier for me. This would be a vertical translation, 1 unit up, but of course you'll write it out, vertical translation, 1 unit up. This is a vertical stretch because it's bigger than 1 by a factor of 5/4. And as some of you go, I don't know if it's a stretch or not. If I go 5 divided by 4, it's more than $1. If it's more than $1, it's a stretch. If it was 4 divided by 5, that's less than $1. That's a compression. All right. If you get a problem like this, it would be -1 parentheses x plus 3. I'll still make this bonus, okay? But you got to show your work. So if you give me horizontal translation 3 units right, and you give me a reflection over the y-axis, you will get your 1, 2, 3, 4 points. If you want to get bonus, you will show me this, and then you'll tell me horizontal translation 3 units left. That will get you your bonus. And you make sure you tell me the reflection. If you look, it's still a reflection. Okay? And some of you go, but it's not in the parentheses. Yes, it is. This represents this, which is in the parentheses. All right, last one. This is a radical function. All right, let's start here. This one, reflection over, since it's with the y, it means it's with the x. This, 2 parentheses, x minus 4. All of that is in the radical. This would be a horizontal compression by a factor of 1/2, not a straight shooter. This would be a horizontal translation 4 units right. Okay, and that's your test.